When I was 9, my family moved into a small house near the woods. It looked normal from the outside, quiet and peaceful, but the first night there I couldn't sleep. The ceiling made soft clicking noises like footsteps, and the air above my bed always felt colder than the rest of the room. My parents said it was just the old wood adjusting, but even at that age, I knew the difference between a creak and someone walking. The attic door was in the hallway right outside my bedroom. A thin rope hung from it, and sometimes it swayed even when the windows were shut. I once asked my dad if we could open it, but he said no one had been up there for years. He even nailed it shut to keep me from climbing. Still, every night at around 2 in the morning, I'd hear the faint dragging sound of something heavy above the ceiling, like furniture being moved, like someone rearranging their room. One evening, I was doing homework when I heard whispering. At first, it sounded like wind, but then the voice became clear, low, close, and calling my name. I froze. It came from the ceiling vent. The words stretched into a soft laugh that didn't sound human. I told my mom, and she smiled like parents do when they want you to stop worrying. She said maybe I was dreaming, but that night I didn't sleep at all. The whispering came back, louder this time, then scratching. I hid under the blanket, clutching my flashlight, waiting for morning. At sunrise, I noticed dust on the floor, fresh dust, falling from the attic door. Something had moved up there. I begged my dad to check. He sighed, grabbed a hammer, and pulled the nails out one by one. The smell that came out was old and sour, like something rotting. When he climbed halfway up the ladder, he froze. I saw his shoulders stiffen. "There's nothing," he said too quickly, pulling the hatch shut again. That night, he slept in the living room. Weeks later, they finally called someone to inspect the attic. I watched from the bottom of the ladder as the man climbed up with a flashlight. A few minutes passed, then the beam of light stopped moving. He shouted down, voice shaking, There's a small bed up here, and drawings all over the wall." My mom turned pale. On the wooden boards were hundreds of childish sketches, stick figures sleeping in beds with one tall shadow standing beside each one. The man said it looked like a child had lived there long ago. After that day, the whispering stopped and the air turned quiet again. We sold the house a month later. My parents never told me why, but I already knew. Years later, I found an old newspaper in the library archives. It said a boy had disappeared from that same house 10 years before we moved in. They never found him. The last line of the article described what they found in the attic. Small footprints in the dust, too fresh to be 10 years old.